All right, welcome back to another episode of Sean and Ed's Do Baseball.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Ed's.
And we are doing baseball history.
That's right, we're doing baseball history on our bi-weekly baseball history podcast, where the story catcher doesn't know what the story pitcher is out on the mound throwing them.
And that makes things fun.
Makes things fun, makes things more interesting. You cross them up, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, then you knock them down. I'll give you a hint for this one. This guy was both behind the plate and did not know what was coming as well.
All right, so it fits right into our wheelhouse. What you're saying? What pitch are you going to be throwing to me today, Sean? We just are we are completely contradicting everything we just said. But
100%.
But what kind of pitch are you throwing me today?
I'm just going to say straight fastball. This is just down the middle as a fun, goofy. I want to say goofy, but I'm like pretty sure I'm coming at it from like a Looney Tunes perspective, because there's a lot of violence. Okay. A lot of violence. And I'm like, oh, it's fun. It's going to be fun. But yeah, this is just a fastball straight into your hip.
All right. Straight to the point and slightly violent. I like it.
Oh, not slightly. But yes, okay. Before we get into this, where can people find us, Etsy?
People can find us somewhere along the interwebs. If you're perusing around the World Wide Webs, type in one of the two handles, @doingbaseball or @doing.baseball, and they should lead you somewhere in the right direction.
That's right. And wherever you're listening to us, however you're listening, thank you so much. Give us a review. Give us a follow. Tell your friend. It all helps grow the pod and helps us bring you some fun, violent stories like we're about to talk. And I'll tell you who is fun but not violent. That is our friends at Two Loons Brewing. You can check out Two Loons Brewing at Two Loons Brewing or at twoloonsbrewing.com if you're on the World Wide Web. Check them out. They got a great spot in Parkdale on Brock Street, just north of Queen, south of Dundas. It's a great little neighborhood pub, and they make fantastic beers. And you should go consume some. But of course, as always,
please be of legal drinking age, and of course, enjoy responsibly. And before you continue there, Sean, just wanted to clarify that the neighborhoods that Sean is describing, it is in Toronto, Ontario.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is in Toronto. I mean, if you have a Parkdale in your neighborhood or in your city, you could still check it out. But
you won't find Two Loons Brewing there.
There's a chance you might not. All right. Well, we're going to be starting this off, Etsy, in the wonderful city of Milwaukee, which I don't believe has a Parkdale, but probably wishes it does.
But it does have beer.
It does have great beer. That is true. And the reason we're starting in Milwaukee is Clarence Bernard Owens was born there on March 31st, 1885. And like many young men at the time, his goal growing up was to one day be a professional ball player. But fate would lead him down a different path. And in this case, fate was the family gun.
Okay, I'm not really sure what you're implying yet, but I'm understanding the violence reference, I guess.
Yeah, well, and the hilarious part about this one is I told you I was really getting tired of doing stories where the person ended their own life, and I was like, I'm going to find a fun one, and I thought I did, and that person killed themselves. And then my dad texted me this one, and it was just a ray of sunshine, very violent sunshine. But you'll see. So thanks, Dad. On July 4th, 1901, at the age of 16, Owens was planning on playing a ball game at a local sandlot later that day. But it was July the 4th, and Owens was a red-blooded American from America, Milwaukee. And he decided he needed to shoot said gun. Owens shoots himself in the left hand.
Okay. That I bet you is very common.
Yes, especially on July 4th.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so he's got a hole in his hand.
He's got a hole in his hand. He's got a ball game to play later that day. He goes to the doctor, because that's what you do when you have a hole in your hand.
Typically.
And the doctor says, okay, I patched you up. You got a gunshot wound. Please go home and rest. And Owens was like, screw that. I got a baseball game to get.
Yeah, I got a pitch at 3:30.
So I don't know if he actually played in said baseball game. It doesn't matter really. But he shows up for the baseball game. And the umpire they had hired to officiate the match ends up quitting the game due to a disagreement. And Owens is, I guess, sitting there like with his hand bleeding on the bench, and they're like, hey, Clarence, you're going to be the umpire now. And he does. Despite having a self-inflicted gunshot wound earlier that day, he umps the game, and in that moment, his dream went from being a big leaguer to umpiring in the big leagues.
All right, I like it. We haven't had an umpire story in a while.
Yeah, I think it was my season finale last year. I forgot to look it up, but yeah, and I don't even have my phone. But this is umpire ones are fun. This is going to make the mage look weak.
Okay, then that's saying something. So,
in a different way, though, in a much more violent. Anyways, let's just get to it. So the Owens family moves to Chicago, and the next year Clarence is in Sandlot games umpiring, and he's getting paid 50 cents per game, which is big, $20, $25. So, it's Sandlot. So these are just neighborhood people that are just like, hey, we'll give you $20 to ump our game. And
okay.
He gets the confidence after a while because everybody wants to hire him. He goes, no, I want $1 a game. And they're like, no. And he refuses to ump. And he holds the game hostage until they meet his demands.
Okay. Well, if he's that good, I'm assuming it worked.
It did. And I think this is a clear indication that Owens had the conviction and confidence that was needed to go toe-to-toe with major league players and managers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the implication to me. I'm picking up the same vibe.
Yeah. Let's just see if he makes it there. So Al Tierney, who was head of the Western League and the Three Eyes League, took notice of Owens and recommended him to officiate an important game between St. Mel's and White Rock, who had apparently manhandled several amateur umpires during previous contests. And Owens does it. He handles the game really well. And all of a sudden, he's connected to this Tierney guy, and he starts getting games for $5 a pop. So, now he's making a few $100 a game in today's money. And he gets help from Tierney to secure an interview with a brand new league called the Northern League. And he is 17 years old when he's getting interviewed to be a professional umpire, essentially. And when the league president saw him, he said, and I quote, "Boy, you better go back to school. I want men umpiring my league."
We can't have babies umpiring this league.
You're too little. So he, I guess, has a charm about him and a dedication and conviction that he's still able to talk his way into a trial. He earns a spot somehow, and he gets a salary of $75 a month, which did not include meals or hotels. So he's making very little money.
Okay.
But he's also 17 years old and officially a professional umpire at this point, which is an impressive feat. But I also don't think he understood how much his life was now in danger.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. See, that would have been a time to use the echo on your mic.
Danger, danger, danger. So we're about to just go through years of abuse.
Okay. Towards Owens or by
Oh,
Owens?
God.
Or both?
Oh, no. Towards. This man is lucky. we'll get to.
Okay.
So this is the first one. We're going through many stories here. In a game featuring Crookstown versus Winnipeg, Crookstown was rallying in the ninth, and Owens called 3 straight strikes on a batter to end the game. The batter threw down his bat and attacked the 17-year-old umpire. Owens did his best to defend himself, but there was no defending what was going to happen next. As they fought, a fan jumped the railing, ran onto the field, grabbed the player's discarded bat, and bashed Owens over the head while he fought with the player.
Oh, my God. So this is in Crookstown, I'm guessing?
I'm assuming so, yes.
Yeah. What a name for a place.
Should have known this was going to happen.
Yeah. Like the name was foreshadowing in of itself.
But to be honest, would have you been surprised if it happened in Winnipeg?
Absolutely not.
So I guess there is law and order in Crookstown because the fan is arrested and the local prosecutor, who actually had a political beef with the fan's father, pressed charges on him. But in the end, like many rich kids, he got off as his father offered Owens $750 to drop the charges. So
he's getting 10 months pay. Just shut up and we'll drop this. We'll get this all cleaned up.
Yeah, and as the Sporting News put it, and I quote, Owens promptly forgot about his headache and took the money.
Okay.
See, it's that euphemistic language of the past that gives it like the Bugs Bunny or the Looney Tunes vibes.
He just forgot.
Woo! There goes my headache.
Yeah.
Do you get the dollar signs in your eyes?
Yeah.
And the lump like goes back down.
Yeah.
But this man sustained a serious head injury from a fan beating him over the head with a bat. In another game, in Fargo, North Dakota, Owens threw out a player and the team refused to send out a replacement, and therefore he called the game in a forfeit. That night, said player and 2 teammates decided to get back at Owens, went to his hotel, and kicked the absolute shit out of him.
All right. This is very violent already.
Oh, yeah. We've got these guys were arrested and suspended, probably for like 5 games. But yeah, we got 2 arrests so far, and we're like a few hundred words in.
Mm-hmm.
So Owens switches leagues. He heads out to the Western League. Now he's making $200 a month. And that's where one of the most legendary stories takes place. And I say legendary because I read a lot about Clarence Owens, and I heard a few iterations of this story. So the story goes, after a rough game, which he called an opposing player safe at home on a close play and needed a police escort out of the stadium, Owens returned to his hotel and sent for a barber to give him a shave. Once Owens was in the barber chair, he was asked if he had watched the game that day. Owens responded that, no, he just arrived in town, and the barber apparently said, that's too bad. The umpire was terrible. Should I have him here now? I'd cut his throat.
Oh, my God. It's a good thing that these games were not televised at the time.
Apparently, Owens was calm and cool and just said, once over, pal. I'm in a hurry to get out of town.
I'd kill him, too. But it's crazy that, you know, he he's fearing this violence so much that he feels that he needs to alter his appearance and go into incognito based
Yeah,
on, these close plays that are a part of his job.
100%. No, baseball is fucking crazy at this time.
Yes,
Like
it is.
I think the like 1890s to like 19 early 1900s before they really tried to clean things up. With this is the time where it just gets out of hand. Like it's not okay.
No.
So there's another more audacious iteration of the tale where Owens is in the barber chair, and well, this barber threatens the life of the umpire. Owens apparently finds his moment, wipes the soap from his partially unshaven face, reveals his identity, and assures the barber that if he step outside the shop, he'd show him ways to kill without a razor.
Okay. That's talking tough.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of this is the one I
I,
heard him tell kind of it.
I,
So I think it's one of those stories that gets a little bit more intense every time it gets told.
yeah. A little broken telephone, but I like that version.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, let's go. Come on outside. And apparently the barber's like, whoa, you're real tough. So the Western League folds before the season's over, and it gets reorganized again in 1904. They offered Owens less money to return, and he refused. And thank God he did, because despite making much less in the Missouri Valley League, he earned the name that we are going to be referring to him as from now on. And that name, Eds, is Brick.
Brick Owens. I love it. I just moved to Brick Road. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Now everyone can find you.
Yeah.
Can you guess how he got the nickname Brick?
I mean, my heart says that he had bricks hurled at him or something.
Trust your heart, Edsy. Trust your heart.
Okay.
In a game in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Owen made a bang-bang call that went against the home team. The home team fans were not pleased and began to rain down whatever they could pick up on the young umpire, including several bricks, one of which hit him right in the fucking face.
Oh my God. Suck brick, kid.
Thank you. Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
I honestly thought about that several times while writing this. I appreciate the reference.
I have a question though. Was the stadium poorly built or was it incomplete?
Maybe they brought bricks from home.
Maybe. I mean, you could bring a gun, so I assume you could bring a brick.
Absolutely. A few days later, after he gets out of the hospital and recovers, he goes back to umpire, and everyone's like, dude, you got hit by a brick. And the player, Charlie Lyons, just starts referring to Owen as Brick. Other players started doing it as well, and then the newspapers started calling him Brick Owens. Owens said it was all right with me. I had been called much worse, which is great.
That's a good way to take it.
He is called much worse. Very much worse.
Both in the past and I assume in the future.
I'm jumping ahead here, but later in his career, another nickname he got, ironically, from a man nicknamed Muddy Ruel, they would pin him with the moniker Balloon Face or Balloon Head, and that is what Brick Owens was known as in dugouts, even though he was known as Brick in the newspaper.
Okay, because he got hit with a brick again?
Probably. He's gotten hit in the face or with a bat, a brick, and beat up by 3 guys, and we're just starting this thing.
Okay. As you continue, I'm going to look up a picture of Brick Owens and see if I agree with
Balloon Face.
Yeah.
All right. So his career progresses. He makes the move to the American Association in 1905 and 1906. There he developed a pretty intense feud with the Minneapolis Millers. So
Okay.
I think he's kind of assigned to the Millers, as some umps were back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
before they thought better of that. This is probably why. And Mike Kelly of the Millers, he's their player manager, but he was having some trouble with the old reserve clause, although he had left the major leagues 5 years earlier, as far as I could see. He was banned from playing and then told he couldn't manage even from the bench. So he was pissed. And Owens had to enforce this. And Mike Kelly did not like this. And apparently they might have gotten some misinformation, and Kelly thought he could be on the bench for this game. But under instruction from league president, Owens tells Kelly he has to leave the bench. Kelly did not vacate the bench. The game was forfeited, and the Millers lost. So
Okay.
Kelly, that's how things start out. Second game of the year. And Kelly claimed the teams had decided, there was another game in which Kelly claimed the teams had decided to do a drop dead finish, like basically agreed on a time that it would be over, in order for the Millers to get to the train. When that time came, the two umpires that day, one being our pal Brick Owens, determined that the game should continue, and the Millers went on to lose in the ninth, and then probably missed their train as well.
And this is like his team.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, he's the...
But he hates them.
Well, he doesn't hate them. I think they hate him. Their fans are going to very much hate him.
It's got to be mutual.
I think there's probably a little mutual hate here. But things get really serious. There's definitely going to be some mutual hate by the end. June 16th, 1906, Toledo newspaperman Howard L. Spohn wrote that Kelly had made the audacious claim that Owens and his partner had relayed signals of Minneapolis pitcher and catcher to Louisville during the series in Louisville. So now they're saying the umpire was sign stealing on behalf of the other team.
Like the second base umpire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I guess, I don't know. I don't know how the home plate umpire...
I know. I was going to say, I don't think that would work well.
Yeah. These charges were completely fabricated, and within days, the president of the league cleared Owens of any wrongdoing. In a game in 1906, at a game in Minneapolis, Owens called the Millers' game-winning run out at home in a game against Columbus, in which he tossed several Millers players from the game earlier. The crowd did not like this. When the game ended, a mob stormed the field, ready to kill him, or at least badly injure poor Brick. It looked like he had nowhere to go. This looked like the end for Brick Owens, but then a giant man pushed his way through the crowd and grabbed Brick. "Let's get out of here," he said. Owens looked up and he saw legendary football guard Pudge Heffelfinger by his side.
Pudge Heffelfinger.
Pudge Heffelfinger.
Let's just marinate on that for a second. Pudge Heffelfinger. Continue.
Picture, he's a giant football guard, apparently.
I'm picturing Mr. Larson from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. So Brick's like, "How do we get out of here?" And Heffelfinger's just like, "Right through the crowd, man. Let's go." Owens, massive guardian angel, walks him through the crowd, glaring at the mob. No one dared touch him. Still, the mob follows Owens, and they are following him, and he's trying to get back to his hotel while this angry baseball mob follows him. He's placed in a police carriage, or a carriage escorted by the police, and the unruly crowd continues the pursuit. Finally, a police captain mounted the seat and threatening to draw his revolver, lashed the horse out and lashed the horses out of the mob and to safety. So,
What?
yeah, you had to get...
What an escape.
You got Mr. Larson from Happy Gilmore escort you out. And then the police officer will be like, "Get out of here. We're going to start shooting people." So things are bad. And local politicians start feeding the flames of anger, and they like seek an injunction against his decisions in court. And so Brick shows up to the Diamond the next day. Like all of this is happening, and he still shows up for work the next day. And the police are like, "Don't do that. Like
Yeah, just don't come.
yeah, don't come."
We don't have the men to handle this.
They did not. They did not. So he is, I believe he calls strike one. The legend is that he calls strike one. And as soon as he calls strike one against the Millers, he is pelted with eggs and cabbages.
I wonder who organized that.
They definitely brought that from home.
Well, yeah. They definitely brought that from home. But do you think it was like a small group of people that brought like, grocery bags, for lack of a better term, full of that stuff and handed them out?
Or just like everyone showing up.
Take one of each.
Oh, you brought your eggs too? I thought it was just going to be me throwing stuff at them. Where are we here? So yeah, and there's a big crowd, right? People just showed up to throw shit at this guy, and he is just like, okay, fuck this. He goes back to his hotel once again. Mob follows him back to his hotel, and they're like, we're gonna burn the place down with him inside if you don't give him to us. And everyone's just like, oh my god. So the police have to like get in there, and they execute a plan where they smuggle him away, apparently via rooftop. So,
it's like I don't even know how to describe that. Another great escape.
I told you things were going to get really bad with the Minnesota fans.
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Well, it all goes back to that Crookstown game.
He's just a target. So they get him out of there. They send him on a train to Kansas City to save his life. 5 of the Millers players are either suspended or fined by the league and charged with rowdyism and inciting the fans. Kelly was furious at the discipline, saying his players couldn't control what the fans did, and he himself was fined $100 and suspended until the fine was paid.
Okay. I mean, Kelly's not wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But there has to be some sort of standard, I guess. If you punish the fans who have a vested interest in the team, if you punish the team because the fans have a vested interest in them, maybe they'll stop.
Maybe. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter.
Maybe they'll get more pissed off.
Definitely. Well, and the Millers then spread the rumor that once again Owens is crooked and he's on the take with gamblers. So the league has to do another inquiry because the Millers, as you'll see, have no evidence, and they're like, yeah, no, he's gambling. So, anyways, they have no evidence was found, and actually the evidence provided at the inquiry was quite the different picture. An unnamed witness came forward and claimed a man named Fred Briggs had approached him in a saloon in Minneapolis and offered him $20 to sign a statement to the effect that Owens had wagered $200 on the game of July 18th. At the conclusion of the proceedings, the American Association Board of Directors found the charges against Owens wholly and entirely false.
Okay, so he's clean again.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I think Kelly kind of admits it later on that he's just like, yeah, we just didn't like him and did everything we could to win. Maybe he was gambling. We don't know, but we just fucked with him.
Yeah, well, Mike Kelly's real name was Bernard Francis, so it sounds like Mike Kelly just makes up whatever the hell he wants.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Brick, probably for his own safety at this point, moves to the Eastern League for 1907 before returning to the American Association once again in 1908. And this time he also almost dies and a police officer loses a finger.
Okay. How did that happen?
Well, during the 1908 season in Milwaukee, a fan insulted Owens, and Brick removed his mask and smashed the fan in the face with it. So,
Okay, another one of those.
yeah, that's a Tim Hurst special, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this was before that even.
Yeah.
And that's like a good idea, but there was a lot of people around this guy, and immediately 50 fans descend upon him and gave Brick a beating. He's rescued by the police, and in the chaos, a policeman has his finger bitten off by the mob.
Bitten off.
Bitten off!
My God, what a sick individual.
I have in my notes here, and I quote from myself, I guess, "Don't let anyone tell you you take baseball too seriously until you have the blood of a constable running down your chin."
Oh my God. Like it'd be quite a bite. Like I don't think it's that easy to bite off a finger as a human.
I don't know. I'm gonna say. I mean, sure.
Try
like
it. Let's see you try it.
No. Just try. No,
Try the pinky. Try the pinky.
You could easily bite the tip of somebody's finger off because you could get your right at your teeth in between the like two bones.
Yeah, but I want to believe it's the whole
it's
thing.
The whole thing would be hard. You'd be like gagging, like
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know. Either way, all of this because Owens smashed a guy in the face with his mask and then got the shit kicked out of him. So
Just
after
chaos.
that, it just keeps finding him. After all that, finally that offseason, Owens gets a chance he'd been waiting for as he's interviewed by National League President Harry Pullman. When Pullman met Owens, he looked at the scars covering his savage body from his time behind the plate and asked if he had ever been in a train wreck.
And I know about train cars, let me tell you.
Hey, you ever been in one when it crashed? Because your face is fucked up, man. So, and remember, he did shoot himself as well. That's how he started this thing.
Yeah.
So, Pullman apparently offers him a job, and but later Pullman becomes ill and had to forego his duties. So when they send umpiring contracts out at the end of the winter, Owens was overlooked, and he's forced to return to the American Association. He would slog it out there for 4 more seasons before finally getting the call to the National League in 1912, and it would not last. For whatever reason, God did not want Brick Owens umpiring Pittsburgh Pirates games. It just it's a rule.
They just didn't. Okay.
There's just everything I found in this one year is just negative shit about Pittsburgh. So the Pittsburgh Gazette reported that while umpiring a game in St. Louis, third baseman Wally Smith had threw a ball to the first baseman that hit Owens behind the ear, knocking the umpire senseless. Brick was married at this point, and his wife Helen was in the stands. She apparently fainted and did the whole like, ah! when she saw her husband get knocked out.
Okay. And then the crowd beat her up.
Probably. No, I mean, the National League, the major leagues we'll get to it. There's some violence ahead. But the major leagues, for the most part, are much more less of Yeah. In Game 1 of a doubleheader on August 20th, 1912, Brick Owens would be declared dead, or at least dying, by the Pittsburgh Gazette. The rumor would travel all the way to Kansas City, where his wife Helen was there this time round. But Brick had not died. He had just got fucked up again, this time by another ball. And this is a wild game that takes place. Both umpires, there's a two-man umpiring system at this point, as you probably know, but some of our listeners might not know. There's two umpires, and both of them have to leave the game. Owens' umpiring partner Will Brennan slipped on the wet grass in the first inning, tearing ligaments in his knee, and as Brennan was carried off the field, Brick gave the crowd a laugh by calling to him, "Bill, you better get a room with twin beds because I expect to join you in a couple innings."
And he did.
It was very prophetic.
Yeah.
Owens took a foul tip right to the chest in the second inning, and things did not look good. Brick was tough, but he tried to stay in the game, but the ball had done some serious damage as he'd suffered tears in his rig ligaments as well as a broken breastbone or a broken collarbone, one of the two, or maybe both. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. So this is obviously pre-padding.
I think they might have had the
arm
chest
thing.
Yeah, but he caught one I don't know, but he catches one. And for whatever reason, he is it puts him out. Give me 1 sec. He soon felt sick and fainted behind the dish, wrapping his arms around Brooklyn catcher Otto Miller to keep himself from collapsing onto the ground. Aid was rendered on the field, and he was taken by ambulance to St. John's Hospital to join John Brennan. Luckily, he'd make a full recovery. It was the first time in baseball's recorded history that injury forced both umpires to exit the field.
They were like, maybe we should have 4.
Yeah.
Just in case.
And it's not the injury against the Pirates or in Pirates games. It's not just getting hit in the head and hit in the chest and breaking collarbones and getting knocked unconscious and scaring your wife. But Brick would run afoul against Pirates owner Barney Dreyfuss after a bang-bang call that went against Pittsburgh. Dreyfuss had the umpire followed by a private detective and charged the arbitrator with frequenting a gambling house. Whether true or not, it was enough to not have his contract renewed, and Owens would go to the International League for 1913.
Okay, so he's relegated to AAA.
Yeah, it sounds it's all just because of Dreyfuss, charging him and them being like, we'll just screw him.
Yeah.
Cut our losses.
Yeah.
We don't even want to make an inquiry.
Yeah,
we're just going to...
His words hold more weight than Bernard Francis Mike Kelly's, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Owens returned to the National Association then in 1914 and 1915, while also possibly umpiring for a bit in the Federal League. But finally, he gets a call from Ban Johnson to join the American League, where he would stay for 22 years. And this leads us to the story that most baseball nerds may know that involves Owens, and is probably could be its own episode for us. Any guesses?
I have no idea. I'm pretty unfamiliar with the biography of one Brick Owens.
No. Okay. So this one is with Babe Ruth. Well, he was still pitching for the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
It's June 23rd, 1917. Washington Senators taking on the Red Sox at Fenway. None other than Babe Ruth on the mound. He faced Ray Morgan. And according to Owens, threw 4 straight balls to start the game. Actually, according to the ledger, he did. And Ruth was not pleased with Owens. And Owens wasn't in the mood for Babe Ruth's shit. So, Ruth was definitely not in the mood for old Balloon Face's strike zone. Ruth became agitated after ball 3 and began to bark back and forth. "Get in there and pitch," ordered Owens. After ball 4 was called, Ruth lost it, running towards the ump. "Open your eyes and keep 'em open," screamed Babe. "Get in and pitch or I'll run you out of here," threatened Owens. You run me, and I will come in and bust you in the nose, Ruth said. Upping the ante. Get out there now, Brick said, banishing the Sultan of Swat, well, pre-Sultan of Swat, from the bump after just 4 pitches into the game. Ruth's promise was true, and although his catcher was trying to get between him and Owens, Ruth began swinging both hands, missing with a left but striking Owens with a right hand behind the left ear. Manager Jack Barry and a policeman had to drag Ruth off the field.
Oh my God. I'd love to see a John Boy breakdown of this event.
Favorite. There was a very good Life magazine article I found that really painted a great picture.
Okay.
I believe Owens stayed in the game, and his strike zone worked out great for the Fenway faithful that day as Ernie Shore entered the game and didn't allow a base runner. So Ernie Shore, comes in after Babe Ruth walks the first guy and punches the umpire.
Mm-hmm.
And throws a perfect game.
Wow. That doesn't really count as a perfect game, though?
It does not.
Okay.
But he didn't walk, or he didn't allow a base runner.
Yeah.
Ruth allowed the base runner.
Yeah, which is that's amazing. That's an amazing feat. Do you think that his strike zone was influenced by the punches thrown by Babe Ruth?
To the head?
Yeah.
I definitely think so. One way or another. Either way, yeah. I'm surprised this man can see at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised he's alive, but
yeah.
Once again. So yeah, technically not a no-hitter. It's technically a combined no-hitter. It wasn't a perfect game. It was
it's a combined no-hitter, but it's not a perfect game.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think we should give it to him.
Oh, I do too.
I have no.
It's one of those crazy baseball anomalies that, like, somebody did 27 up and 27 down, and they're like, no, the guy before you threw 4 straight balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Quickly aside here as Blue Jay fans, so didn't Brett Cecil do something like that at one point?
But as a reliever?
As a reliever?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We don't need to get into that right now, but
no, I think he might have, though. Does that count if a reliever gets 27 outs in a row? I don't know. But Shore was certainly perfect that day. Owens was less than perfect several years later on July 28th, 1924. Owens was behind the plate in a game between the St. Louis Browns and the Boston Red Sox. It's a tie game, run around second, 2 out. Brick refuses to let Brown's shortstop, Norm McMillan, hit, and instead ordered catcher Tony Rigo to bat instead. Rigo would ground out, and the Browns would lose the game. But Brick was wrong, as McMillan, the shortstop, had previously replaced the catcher, and Rigo, now catching, had replaced the shortstop. The substitutions moved St. Louis's catcher from 7th to 8th in the batting order, and the shortstop from 8th to 7th. So as you can imagine, with all the head injuries that Owens had, he screws it up, and he forces the wrong guy to hit, being like, no, you're shortstop, so you're hitting here, and you're catcher, you're hitting here, even though he was wrong.
Okay.
So the Browns lose, but they protest, and they win the protest. The game would be ordered to be replayed in its entirety, in the second game of a September 13th doubleheader. Ironically, Owens was the plate umpire that day again, and the Red Sox won the wild affair 13-11, with the Browns making 4 errors. The Global Democrat reported, and I quote, "Owens didn't make any mistakes yesterday, but the Browns made plenty of them."
Okay. Brick has redeemed himself.
Sure.
But the Browns suck.
He is, by all measures, a competent umpire in the American League for a very long time. And I believe Babe Ruth hitting him is the last time I could find of him getting hurt.
Yeah.
So, despite the mistake, Owens was a well thought of American League ump. In 1923, William B. Hanna wrote in the New York Tribune, and I quote, "If there is a better umpire working this season than Brick Owens, he hasn't come to light. Like a pitcher on his good days, Owens has everything. He works easily, he is no tyrant, no chip on his shoulder umpire, and handles a game well. Ball players regard him as without a superior on balls and strikes."
Okay, so they like his zone. You don't hear writing about umpires in that regard anymore. Anytime you hear about, you hear Reed writing about umpires, it's usually negative press.
That's very true. That is very true. Now I'm going to do a search of Fangraphs after this to be like, I want umpire stats.
Yeah.
So Owens earned a spot to officiate the World Series in 1918, 1922, 1925, 1928, and 1937, serving as crew chief for the last two. I'm sure you'll want to know a little bit about how Owens looked as an umpire too, Edsy. And he did make a huge impression huge impact on the profession. Owens raised his right arm in the general direction of first base dugout with the first finger of his right hand finishing off a strike call with sort of a corkscrew motion, like.
Okay.
And sometimes the crowd would laugh, especially if it was their first time seeing old Brick behind the plate. Brick had a stentorian voice, and when he called a third strike accompanied by an emphatic sweep of the right arm, there was never any doubt that the batter was out. So he kind of invents the little finger point. Yeah. Well, he's one of the guys. Owens' practice of raising the right arm to designate a strike, even though he might not have been the first guy to do it, he's kind of a popularizing figure. He soon proved so popular that it was adopted as standard practice in both major leagues. However, few, if any, of the other umpires performed this trick with as much emphasis as Brick. When the rule was first adopted, Owens tried to elaborate on the idea, suggesting that umpires be required to raise their left arm when a ball was called. And this time, they were like,
No. You're doing too much, Brick. You're doing too much.
It's like, woo, what if we do this?
Yeah. I like it though. It's hard. It's hard for me to it's been part of the game for so long that it's hard to imagine an umpire not having some sort of emphatic motion. At least on an out call. There are some umpires that I feel like don't get anything too emphatic with their strike calls until strike three. But
they always point the first base dugout.
Yeah.
If they're doing it. That's like, you would think maybe there'd be some lefties out there, but apparently it's standard practice. Anyways, during the he has some run-ins with some players as well throughout his time in the AL. He's not completely, but these are much more innocent fun and less getting hit with a brick or having someone's finger get bit off. During the 1934 World Series, Brick butted heads against the Tigers' Mickey Cochran. Mick Cochran, who was apparently known for his large protruding ears, complained constantly about Brick's strike zone. Finally, Owens had enough and fired back at the Tigers legend. "Mickey, if you would pin those big ears back, I could see the ball much better." After Game 5, in which the Tigers won and took a 3-2 lead, the Cardinals were furious with Owens. Owens called Jack Rothrock for interference, and the Cardinals claimed that Rothrock had not moved his bat to interfere with the Tigers' backstop. So I guess it was interference on the batter against the catcher. Later,
You
Bill.
never see that anymore.
No, that is something you don't see nowadays for sure. I mean, so they're furious. The Cardinals are furious now, right? And later, Bill Delancey was called out on 3 pitches in the ninth, which he vigorously protested as the tying run was on first base. The New York Times reported Delancey's protests against the strikes took the shape of a verbal outburst on the field, which led to umpire Owens to say to the Cardinal catcher, "That'll cost you $50. Make it 100. Why don't you?" said Delancey. $100 it is, replied Owens. Go ahead, make it 2. Came back Delancey. $200, calmly replied Owens. And then Cochran said he stepped in and was like, "Hey, stop it. Like, don't cost yourself more money."
Yeah.
After,
Here's 10 months pay. Maybe you'll forget about all this.
There you go. In an incident involving Washington, in which he couldn't find the date, Brick apparently, which I couldn't find the date. Sorry, Brick apparently heard criticism from the Senators' bench. The Sporting News reported, and I quote, "Umpire Brick Owens suddenly wrenched off his mask from behind the plate and pointed vigorously at the Washington bench. I heard that," he yelled at outfielder Heine Manouche. "You are out of the game." When Manouche protested that he hadn't said anything loud enough to be overheard, Owens came back at him saying, "I got rabbit ears."
Does that mean he can hear good?
I think so. So Manouche thinks of a great comeback and says, with nothing more to lose, Manouche says, "I always did think you could hear better than you could see."
Good one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So there's that. He's aging. He's a great umpire. He's doing the World Series. He's still clashing with the players. You know, he's a good ump. Him and his wife Helen open up a flower shop. They live in Chicago now, and Brick wouldn't let his umpiring interfere with the family's business's success. In a story printed in the Sporting News, one day when Owens was behind the dish at Comiskey Park, one of the White Sox players coming to bat mentioned to him a big player from the Chicago mob had just got whacked. "No, when?" Brick questioned the player. "He got gunned down just over an hour ago," responded the player. Brick calls time. He's like, "Time!
I got to find out for myself.
Yeah. He rushes over to the stands. Helen's in the stands. And he goes, "Helen, get back to the shop as quick as you can. They bumped off a big guy. Them orders are going to start coming in right away."
I mean that's a astute business decision by Brick.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? He's completely he's Brick Owens. He continues umpiring till his health began to fail him in 1936 and 1937. And finally, he's forced to hang up his mask and chest protector in 1938 after 22 seasons in the American League and 36 years in pro baseball. Owens estimated he'd umped 5,700 games in his career, including at least 3,000 in the American League. Owens became a wholesale meat salesman in his retirement, and he did so for
pivot.
Yeah.
What happened to the flower shop?
That's a good. I guess it didn't work out. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, I guess it was supplementary income when he was umpiring, but you know.
Anyway, we don't need to explain that. It was just weird to me.
Well, I kind of had to mention it because he dies at work one day. He has a heart attack at work at the age of 64 on November 11th, 1949. He was survived by Helen, who would live all the way until 1976. And that, Eds, is the many adventures and many almost near-death injuries for umpiring baseball by Clarence Brick Owens.
Quick question. Did his wife rush home to the flower shop because all the orders were going to come in?
They're going to be ordering from me.
Yeah.
Or was she stricken with grief?
I imagine both.
Yeah, but you can grieve next to a phone.
Yeah. Well, that was another amazing umpire story. It's amazing how many of the umpire stories, I think we've told maybe 5 on this podcast over the years. And 3 of them for sure are just incredibly violent.
It really, like those early days in like Midwestern baseball, like it is just, those leagues were upstart new leagues, but everybody knew that the players were like B and C quality players, and they're still like
they're so passionate that they want to murder officials.
They do. They absolutely do. So yeah, no, it's just the fact, as I say, he survived his minor league career, made it to the big leagues, got punched in the face by Babe Ruth, umpired a perfect game right afterwards, and then just, rocked out to the end of his career after another 22 years.
Yeah. He died relatively young too, but I imagine his body, took a huge beating. I mean, it literally did. So
we pretty much from like age 16 when he shoots his hand until he gets like a solid like 13 years as just getting head injuries and just gang mob beatings of him regularly.
Yeah. And then I'm sure he got a lot of free red meat from his meat packing job or whatever it was that he was doing.
Well, he had to retire from baseball due to his health, so maybe he was just,
it was already deteriorating.
Yeah, he just had to keep working for whatever reason. He was just like, can't work in that flower shop with Helen.
Yeah.
All right. Join us in a couple weeks, and we'll have another hopefully fun, if not interesting, baseball history story for you. Until then, where can people find us, Edsy?
Once again, people can find us on the internet somewhere at Doing Baseball or at Doing.Baseball. If you look at one of those 2 handles, it'll lead you in the right direction. And please give us, chime in on some conversation. Give us a story idea. Just come and say hello. We'd love to hear from you. And wherever you're listening, however you're listening, give us a rating, give us a review. It helps push the pod, and we love that too. And we appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. As always, thanks to 2 Loons. Thanks, Edsy. And until next time, I'm Sean.
And I'm Eds.
And we were doing baseball.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's fun! They're having fun!
So